One of Trump Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt's most infuriating responses to a totally needless Trump controversy, you're gonna see has not aged particularly well after a recent judge's ruling. And we're gonna get to the content of that ruling, which is very much good news. It's a return to some sanity in America. But first, here's a reminder of what she said.
It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus, many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office.
Okay, leave it. You can reserve the right all you want, but apparently that's not the way it's gonna work out in practice. Because a judge has just said that they have to reinstate the Associated Press after the Trump administration barred them from covering them because they wouldn't say Gulf of America. Okay, I just want to remind everyone, maybe some people have forgotten that now feels like it's 3 years ago. So the Trump administration wanted to do their little propaganda. And they said, you have to say Gulf of America. And the AP was like, okay, in the right context, domestically we'll use that. But for international audience that has always known as the Gulf of Mexico, we're to keep doing that. And so Karoline Leavitt and Trump said, no, we're the word police. We choose exactly which terms we need to see. And if you don't use them, we will literally bar you. This is not some niche outlet or whatever. This is the Associated freaking Press. They do like wire reports that are picked up by all sorts of news outlets. They're not biased at all. They're the most, well, I'm not politically in terms of one party at the very least. They're the most normal mainstream thing ever. And it's just that now we have this identity politics. We have all this that has to rule literally everything. And so they barred them, these word police, the Republican Party. And the judge is like, no, you can't do that. And so they reinstated it. So that's good. I'm gonna give you just a little bit of what the judge actually said. The injunction stated that the government was required to immediately rescind the denial of the AP's access to the Oval Office, Air Force One, and other limited spaces. It also said that they have to immediately rescind the White House, viewpoint-based denial of the AP's access to events open to all credentialed White House journalists. And I love that because it's laying out exactly what they're doing. It is viewpoint-based denial. We don't like the way you talk about us, and so we are going to dial back. Not some small little privilege the way Karoline Leavitt wants you to believe it is. This is core act, like the right to First Amendment stuff. This is the media. They're reporting, they're giving crucial information to people, not unless you use the exact words we want. And it's good to see a judge having a little bit of sanity there. Now, Sharon, it's not to say that the Supreme Court won't overrule this, allowing the word police to get away with whatever they want, but what do you think?
I think it's that last part for me. I mean, the AP is not going to be reinstated. I don't care what the judge says. And I'm not saying that as, our Homeland Security guy or anything, but they're just gonna figure out a way around it. Like you said, they'll kick it up to Clarence Thomas and the spouse of the upside down flag woman, and they will figure out a way to make sure that the administration can do whatever they want to do. Or maybe in the interim, they'll probably declare the AP has some kind of, they're a threat to national security, and they can't tell us how or what. Because if they're not calling it this name, and they'll figure it out. Pam Bondi will send another rookie in there to argue it, and it's just ludicrous. Look what they did. They didn't even write a nasty story that they could have written about his conduct. They're just like so straight and boring, right? They just write whatever because they wouldn't say the Gulf of America. How does this even roll off the tongue? Stop it, leave it. Remember when Kellyanne Conway said the term, she coined that alternative facts, and people made jokes, and then the nighttime comedians and all that, the late night shows. And now that doesn't sound that bad, does it? This is where we are with each step. This is crazy. Kim Jong-un called up Donald Trump and said, here's what you should do. And that's what he's doing. The only thing he hasn't done so far that we know of, pushing people off buildings like Saddam did or something for violating, giving them the evil eye or something. This is insanity. I'll say it again.
They're not that crazy, Sharon. They're not gonna push someone off of a building or whatever. They're gonna ship them to a place where they get pushed off of a building. That's how civilized people do it.